Toys R Us, such a huge part of our childhood, closed long ago, now just part of our childhood memories. Or is it? I recently posted a video showing in part my local Toys R Us. Many watching were surprised that some Toys R Us are still open. So come with me as we walk through my local Toys R Us once again, as if we were 8 years old. Toys R Us closed in the United States. They remained open in Canada, I think under Canadian ownership. The Toys R Us today is quite different than the Toys R Us that I remember as a child. In order for them to make Toys R Us work today, they had to divide the store into two. However, Jeffrey still remains the mascot of today's Toys R Us, and you'll see his picture throughout. The store is divided mainly into two parts, half of the store being for the toys that we remember as children, or at least the updated version of the toys that we remember as children. So you'll see things from the DC Universe, Marvel Universe, Star Wars, Lego, things like that. The other half of the store is what's called Babies R Us, and this is geared towards, as the name suggests, infants. So you'll find clothing, you'll find cribs, you'll find strollers, you'll find even toys for toddlers and for infants as well. And that is really the other half of the store. However, the one half that I spend most of my time in obviously has all the action figures, as well as board games and a variety of other toys that we remember as children, at least upgraded versions of those toys, modern versions of those toys. So let's take a tour, let's take a walkthrough, and I'll just sit back and let's just enjoy the walkthrough. Quite a large Lego section for both young and old. It's one of their bigger sections, so if you're looking for Lego, you'll definitely going to find it at Toys R Us Langley location. And of course, you'll have your Hot Wheel section, you'll have your Nintendo section, and also quite a bit of Minecraft as well. Their Hot Wheels selection is absolute fantastic. And it's not just Hot Wheels, but as well as Matchbox cars. Of course, you have your toys associated with Tommy the Train, and you have Tonka. And as you get to the back of one half of the store, you get to your board games and also a Nerf section, as well as you'll have your bicycle section, which is at the very back. I really like what they did here at the bottom. Part of walking into the Toys R Us is the displays that they have. I mean, as you can see here with the Monopoly painting on the floor, it just takes you right back. And I guess also it's a modern game, so can take you right to the present as well. But the displays that they have out for the DC universe and the Marvel universe and Star Wars and Jurassic Park really stands out, and it sort of just takes you right back to when you were younger. So on the other side of the store, that's where you're going to have the Babies R Us, where you're going to have the cribs, and where you're going to have infant clothing and toddler clothing. So I've made a few purchases there as well for some younger family members. At the very front of the store when you come in, just where that Marvel section is, there's also an HMV part to the store, and I'll talk about that once we get to that point. But right here, I'm just showing the different type of displays and toys that they have for the bigger toy lines that adults would be interested in. So you'll have DC, you'll have Marvel, you'll have Star Wars. So that's there as well. And of course, can't forget the giant Barbie section that it also has. They have a variety of what traditionally is girl toys, including Care Bears, Monster High. I saw some Rainbow Bright as well. So they have a wide variety of toys, not just for boys, but as well as for girls as well. Here is the Transformer sections. They had just put this out recently, the other day, so a lot of focus on Transformers 1, the movie, but as well on the blockies, which ended up being an item that I picked up, and I'll show that later. So here's the Jurassic World display with all the figures that had just come out, obviously corresponding with the summer hit movie that just came out. and of course Star Wars. Can never forget about Star Wars, the granddaddy of them all. That started with the 3 3/4 inch figure line. So obviously they're going to have Star Wars. So this is the HMV, and for those of you that don't know what HMV is or was an old record or an album, a CD store. I think the majority of them have closed up. However, it looks like that they have been purchased or somehow added to the Toys R Us store, and it's the very first thing that you'll see when you come in through the front doors when you head towards the Toys R Us section of the store. They have novelty items as well. They did have a variety of comic books as well, and of course I can't help myself here but try the Pac-Man machine to see if it works, and it does. At least it turns on. They had a bunch of comic books, DC and Marvel. They used to be there in that corner. They're not there anymore. I'm not sure if they still have them. They still have the anime stuff, plenty of that. The manga, I think it's called. I don't know. I hope that's the right thing and not something else. But anyways, they have a variety of those magazines, or not magazines, but comic books still at the front. And of course, they have your NECA up here as well. And they have a pretty good selection of NECA figures, especially in the horror genre. And usually it's not something I usually pay attention to, but I saw this Grandpa Monster here, and I thought I'd take a look. But yeah, and again, it's not something I want to get into because I don't have that much space and already have a pretty big collection of stuff that's taking up all that space. So here's your G.I. Joe classified line. There's not very much there, and you're not going to see any stuff that's hard to get. It's usually the general stuff. So as I'm walking through, this is heading towards the till. This is, of course, I had to purchase something, as I always do when I go to that store. That's why I usually avoid it. So I bought myself one of those Transformer blockies. Of course, they also have trading cards, not only sports, but as you can see, they have wrestling and video games and movies. So you'll have your hockey cards. Of course, being Canada, you're always going to have a whole bunch of hockey cards for sale. And right at the very front, you'll see a big sign saying the name of the city where it's located. Very stereotypical Canadian. It doesn't snow much up here, maybe twice or 3 times a year. I don't have any lumberjacks or bears running around in the city, but hey, gotta keep it stereotypical Canadian. Anyways, that's the tour, that's the walkthrough of Toys R Us. I thank you so much for watching. I appreciate every view that I get. Until next time, happy memory hunting.